Hello, everybody. We are live on this beautiful Monday, April 4th, 2022. Let's see, do you have anybody in here? Doesn't look like it. That's okay. We have excellent condition. That's always good. All right. So today I wanted to check out some news in the SEO digital marketing world and go over it live. And if anybody showed up in here, you would be getting some free advice on your website, but it looks like no one's in here again, so looks like no free advice today. Well, you know what they say, the show must go on. So here we go. As you can see, there's a change to our header. We now have BigCommerce Omnichannel Certified Partner. And so that basically means we now are certified through BigCommerce, myself included, took the certification test, training, all that stuff, to sell BigCommerce, on BigCommerce, for BigCommerce merchants, your products buy on Google, Walmart, etc., outside of just eBay and Amazon. There are a lot more channels than just eBay and Amazon that people use nowadays. And yeah, we can now offer you services on running. We're familiar with these channels, but as far as BigCommerce's specific omni-channel sort of, I don't want to say software, but the way they have it set up within BigCommerce, that's basically what we had to learn about. So now we're taking our expertise from selling, helping you sell your products outside of just your retail store, and now we're combining it with how BigCommerce has it set up for us to help you with that now. So if you're interested in omnichannel marketing, reach out to us, let me know, or let us know. You can go to VisionCourse.com. You can scroll all the way down here, and name, address, company name, message, anything like that. Or you can just straight up click the Contact Us, take you straight down, and there you go. Okay, so I just pulled up some. These are all off page 1 of Google, the news tab when I type in SEO news, and I pulled them over here. So let's just check it out. You see, most of these are today or yesterday, 10 hours ago. Focusing on SEO alone just isn't enough. Here's why. I think we all know this now. Focusing on SEO alone in 2010 was really easy. Even 2015, 16 was fairly simple. Then they rolled out, Penguin, Panda, and all that stuff. And that made SEO harder and harder to succeed in. So now you have to do more and more. One of the biggest, most impactful strategies we use is content marketing. And it's basically just a way to get your content out there, because we all know content is king when it comes to internet visibility. I don't want to say more than just Google. I mean, if you have good content, you can be found on social media, all that stuff. So it says from ebooks to podcasts to how-to videos, which we can actually help you do some how-to videos. Feel-good social posts, exactly. Content marketing has evolved from blogging alone. So there's so much more you can do other than blogging, and I recommend doing all of it. First off, we have basically the next logical step, which can actually run concurrently with your SEO strategies, and that is digital advertising and pay-per-click. So SEO is ever changing, and every business is different. I love that they put this in here. It's probably one of my favorite lines that I'm seeing. I always say this to everybody. Every business is different. I have a company that I actually just recently did an audit for, and they have clothing and jewelry and stuff for home living and stuff for kids. And I was telling them most of what they're going to pay for is the research, because those are all vastly different industries. And even each business within each industry, Google wants to see different things, apparently. So, um, it's not like it's all women's clothing. Then most of the research is going to show kind of the style that Google wants to see things in, and you can pretty much put that across the whole site. But even once you drop in men's clothing, that could be different. Even when you start going from clothing to shoes, that could be different. So, every business is different. Investing time and effort to figure out what works best for your business can be expensive. That's, again, they're like, yeah, SEO, you're paying for the research to figure out what works best for your business. Because even the preliminary research that we do, once that is done, you then have to implement those changes, time, wait, in which case you may not be getting the sales that you thought you would, and then the effort where you analyze what the data is telling you that you gathered over that time, and then you realize, oh, we actually need to do it this way. So Google, it looks like Google isn't really taking to how we did things on this page, but they really like the way we did things on this page, so we need to sort of change it up. Or these two pages have the exact same strategy. One is working, one isn't. We need to update one to do the one that's not to a different sort of strategy. Just things like that. So without reading like the whole thing, you basically want to do PPC. And then also, video advertising on PPC has significantly more impact than advertising based on demographics. So you do video advertising based on consumer intent rather than just regular advertising based on demographics. So a lot of people will say, well, here's a shopping ad for people between 34 and 50. Well, if you have a video ad based on buying something specific, that helps. One of the reasons it has a significantly more impact is because just doing the demographic can put it in front of people who don't care for what you're selling. Consumer intent, you're only going to get stuff, and mostly only going to get it in front of people who are considered interested in buying, regardless of people that you may be excluding in your demographic list. Or your demographic filter, rather. And what comes with that is lower ad spend per conversion, a higher cost per acquisition. A lower cost per acquisition, a higher conversion rate. So providing customers pertinent ads focused on their needs and wants rather than demographic alone, that's basically what I said. Obviously, I'm not taking the time to sit here and spend 2 to 3 minutes to figure out how I want to particularly articulate a sentence or phrase or concept or idea. So, this is more, articulate, but it's the exact same idea. I'm just sitting here trying to do this live. All right. So next is social media. I mean, what else is there more to say than social media? Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Those are the big three. Twitter is really difficult, though, unless you're going to run Twitter ads, because basically once you write something, 3 minutes later, it's like you can't find it unless you have ridiculous engagement on it. So you need to do Twitter several times a day, and most people don't have that kind of time. Facebook is a little bit different. You see pretty if it's something that you follow, you'll see it for a few days. The important thing about Facebook is you want to be really engaging. If someone follows you on Facebook and they don't actually go to your site or click on any of your posts or anything like that for 30 days, you actually stop showing up in their news feed because Facebook doesn't think that they care about you anymore. So you need to be really active on Facebook. Obviously not as active on Twitter. And they're not mentioning Instagram. I think Instagram is a highly underutilized social media platform that people who are not taking advantage of are missing out on huge revenue stream opportunities. So I would highly recommend setting up an Instagram, which is actually now that Facebook bought them out, it's fully integrated into your social media profile, so that when you post on Instagram or Facebook, you can actually just click a toggle and post to the other one. And MailChimp is what we use for our newsletters, and it allows us to turn our newsletter into sort of a web page, and then the link or the URL to that web page is created and sent out on those social media channels, and we can create our posts with hashtags and things like that. And then and then a preview of that web page will be in the post. So you just by sending out a newsletter and clicking a few boxes, you automatically have one nice social media post and web page in for your social media accounts, and it automatically goes out your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and it does have more social media accounts that you can tie in. Brand management. This is where the omni-channel can kind of come in. So you know that now management is more like reputation wise, but if someone is seeing you all over the place, you're going to be considered more reputable to them. If they see you're on Walmart, if they see you're on Amazon, if they see you're on buy on Google as opposed to Google Shopping, which is different, they might say, wow, this company is really prominent and out there. And especially if you have, honestly, if I want to buy from companies that I know are successful because I assume that to be successful, if there are any issues when I buy from them, that they're going to deal with it really quickly. So and that's the biggest hurdle with buying online, is if there are any issues, will it be handled quickly? And for any possible reason, am I able to get my money back? And seeing people all across, you might think, oh, if they have the ad spend for that, they're probably pretty successful, which means they probably treat their customers well. Because companies are hardly successful that don't treat their customers well. Obviously, there's exceptions, but we don't need to get into that. So, anyway, continuing on. Email marketing. Like I said, we have MailChimp. Most of the free sort of newsletters, newsletter platforms don't allow for segmenting. You have to pay for it, and if you're going to start paying for your email marketing, we do recommend Klaviyo. And you can integrate Just Uno with Klaviyo. Those are big commerce sort of partner or like preferred software for those services. Just Uno has a really good selection of ways to get people to engage and give you their email address, the email capture system. One of the fun ones I like is sort of a wheel that people can spin, and they get like 10% off, 5% off, 15% off, etc. And then if they need to put in their email address to get that coupon, and then you have their email address for your newsletters. That's just the Just Uno part, and then through Klaviyo actually is really nice. You begin with 5 sort of flows that they basically have pre-created for you, and you just put your information in, and like without going too in depth, it's really useful, successful, easy to use. Doesn't get much better than that, right? So basically, segmentation. The segmentation on Klaviyo is awesome. I love that you can create a segment. You can create segmentation based on if people open your newsletter or don't open it. And then for people who open it, if people click on it, you have clicked on it, interacted with it, whatever, you can send them a certain newsletter. If they didn't, you can send them a different newsletter. And then if people who didn't click on it, you send them a different one. People who didn't even open it, you send them a different newsletter. The segmentation, they're not kidding. Segmentation options are essentially endless. You really can, and you can even yeah. So there, I don't want to get too much into Klaviyo, but it's a really good option for email marketing strategies. All right. So next we have the conclusion. So being client centric. So basically, there you go. You got your content marketing, digital advertising and pay per click, social media, brand management, and email marketing. So that's what you want to do outside of SEO. All right. Next is the truth about duplicate content. And these are from Search Engine Journal. They're very reputable search and SEO company that you want to listen to. This one is from 4 hours ago by Tony Wright. And let's see, what is duplicate content? Same copy appears on 2 or more pages. Let's see, does he talk about the myth? So duplicate content is not items in the footer or other content that makes sense to appear on multiple pages. You can have several phrases or a chunk of content on multiple pages. Or like you said, in the footer, that's not really triggered as duplicate content. For a while, people were worried that it was, but it's basically proven that it's not anymore. Now, you do need to check for duplicate content. People mostly don't. He has some tools here, semrush, copyscape, Grammarly, that monitors for duplicate content. How much duplicate is he? Does he not talk about duplicate content penalty? Let me see here. Oh, here we go. Okay, there is no such thing as a duplicate content penalty. Yes, I tell people this all the time. There is no actual penalty for duplicate content, but there is a problem. Let's see. Having the same or similar content on multiple pages, or Google the same. Yep, there you go. Okay, so this is what I tell people. This is actually called content cannibalization, which is different than penalization. You're not actively being penalized, but what is happening is you have several pages that are eating each other's SEO credit for the same content, keywords, search intent, etc. And Google decides which content to rank, and in the majority of cases, they rank the wrong content. So, so he started off that with his intro. There we go. All right, now he gets into what is duplicate content, and now we know. And then how to check, content monitoring, how much is okay. I prefer all content to be at least 30% different from all copy. I'm the opposite. I think it should be about 60% different from all copy. Because Google does like refreshed content. So if you have a blog that you want to write, and it's can even be considered in the same topic as a different blog that already exists, update that blog and then submit that blog for inspection to Search Console and then request indexing. What that'll do is that'll say, hey Google, so Google crawls sites based on the sitemap. They have a regular pattern in which they do it, but you can actually submit a site through Search Console and Google will crawl that page more quickly than they would have normally. So, I mean, we know how to fix duplicate content. Let me see. It looks like they have a pretty good idea. You have someone who didn't write the content, someone else come in and rewrite it, and don't show them the existing content. Have them write from scratch. And then you can take aspects of both that are awesome and combine them into a really great piece of content that gives you expertise, authority, and trust. Advanced duplicate content correction. Ooh, here we go. For sites with mass quantities of duplicate content, fixing the issues can be difficult. Yeah, so it's basically, I mean, there is no trick to this. You have to go through each page and update them individually. If you don't have the resources to fix every page, at least fix the category page content. There you go. So, product pages with duplicate content may or may not rank. Usually that happens when you have um, people who just copy and paste their product descriptions from a manufacturer catalog, and everybody has the same product description, and then your products just aren't going to rank as well. All right, so there's the end of that one, and we have about 8 minutes left in this 30-minute live stream. Hopefully, I'm hoping to get these to start going a little longer as people come in. All right, let's see here. SEO experts explain what search engines are looking for. So it looks like in Melbourne, Australia, April 4th, 2022, according to the premier SEO agency, building strong site architecture and providing clear navigation, which is basically your categories, your subcategories, etc. Helps search engines index a website quickly and easily. Internal algorithm of a search engine focuses on providing users with the most relevant websites based on their search term to ensure a website ranks higher on search is important. High quality, useful, well produced, longer content that takes into consideration a user's intention as a whole, rather than just being keyword focused, will enhance the user's experience and encourage repeat visitors. This is where you can write better content by having infographics with image alt attributes, lists, headers. People say headers don't help SEO. I disagree. Headers help with skimmability. Headers help people find the content that they want, and that will keep them on the page longer. And that and Google likes all that kind of stuff. Let's see here. What else we have? Navigation with internal linking and related content. I preach this all the time. You want to be able to get from one page to another within 3 clicks. So on our page, on our website, you want to be able to get from the PPC page to the custom design page within 3 internal link clicks without having to go back up through the navigation. Looks like it is a very basic one. So yeah, there you go. You got your site navigation has to be set up properly with correct site architecture. Basically means appropriate subcategories are where they should be. And existing, I see some people who just have regular categories and no subcategories, which is ridiculous. Unless you only have like 5 products per category and you're a very niche industry or target website. Meta descriptions, title tags, yep. Internal linking. That's basically SEO 101, but it's just good that even as of today, people are, like, that's considered, like, nothing has really changed in what we've been doing recently. It is going to change eventually, but as of recently, it's not. 90% of web pages receive no organic search traffic from Google. Should you create content with Google in mind? Oh, this is also 4 reliable ways to create Google-friendly content. Yes, create content with Google in mind. Ditch thin content. Thin content is 1 or 2 sentences. I think as long as you have about 5 to 10 sentences, that is not considered thin, especially if you have good information in there. That doesn't mean keyword stuffed. That just means you have good information that people would need to know about what's on that particular page. Number 2, understand your expertise, be truthful. Okay, so basically they mentioned the YMYL, it's your money, your life, news, government, legal. This is where like they target misinformation and stuff that'll hurt your website. So most e-commerce don't go into this, so it doesn't really affect most people. Conduct and act on frequent competitor analysis. Yeah, so you conduct a competitor analysis. Again, when I was talking about research for that other company, having to do research for their several categories that they have, several industries they have within one web page, that's part of it, is doing the competitor analysis, figuring out what Google likes that your competitors are doing, and emulating that and building upon it and bringing your own voice to it. Consider user intent and tailor content to user needs. Again, intent is more important than keywords. If you're writing with intent in mind, the keywords will appear themselves. And tailor content to user needs. Talk them into buying what you're selling. Don't just use the keywords just to use the keywords. Use them smartly, organically, and you will be fine. How do I consider user intent? I mean, if you don't know your user intent on for your own company, then you have some bigger problems probably than just writing your content. Bottom line, eat and user first strategy makes Google friendly content. Boom. Yep, pretty much. All right. 5 SEO trends to leverage in 2022. This is the last article I'm going to go over, and then I'll call it a day. And let's see here. Yep, no one's in here, so here we go. Number 1, algorithm changes. I think everybody knows that. I mean, let me see. What do they even say about it? Okay, I do like this piece of advice right here. This is what we do. The second strategy may sound counterintuitive, which is to wait until the dust has settled after an update. Why? In some cases, Google discovers a change has not panned out as expected, and they revert back. Case in point, AMP. Do you guys remember AMP? Accelerated mobile pages. They were a way for platforms, websites to strip down the code to basically just like an image and the basic information so that it loads faster. So for mobile, so it's an accelerated mobile page. Well, turns out a lot of that stripping of the code turned those pages into garbage. And people no longer wanted to use AMP anymore. So and the only way to switch back really is to 301 redirect every single page. So that's rough. All right, not ranking. SEO is a long-term game. Unlike paid search, how are you going to leverage not ranking? Let's see what they say. Technical SEO, content marketing, however, is more important developing a long-term strategy that focuses on 3 to 4 initiatives at a time. Yes. So this is why what I usually do with people is I will do the keyword research for some pages, and then I will develop the title tags, meta descriptions, and send it to them. And while they're working on that, while they're approving the title tags, making suggestions, etc., meta descriptions, everything, I am then working on the taking the competitor analysis I did for the keyword research and developing the content for them. And then once they get me back the title tags, I get them the content. While they're working on that, I'm implementing the title tags and moving on to the next. Usually, I'm not working with a digital marketing team. Therefore, instead of 3 to 4 initiatives at a time, it's 2 to 3 initiatives at a time. But at the same time, I am also looking at, I guess the third one is when I track rankings of things and analytics. If I find that a particular page could use a tune-up, and that could take it from page 2 or 3 to page 1, I'll go ahead and recommend that. So then that's just a task that I add to the ongoing strategy. So then, yeah, I guess once you hit that, you're at 3, and then 4 is always kind of analyzing stuff and seeing what we can do. So yeah, we're definitely multitasking while we're doing SEO for you guys. Keyword research, like I've been preaching, the majority of what people are going to pay for is the research. And right here, they're talking about how keyword research is the foundation of SEO. That's why it is the most important to pay for. But that's why it's the most expensive, because of the time it takes to do it right. You need to do it right. If you're not going to do the keyword research right, you may as well not do SEO at all. Just throw in whatever words you want, and based on what you think works, and don't even pay for someone to do your SEO and live with the results. But today, rather than scanning for just a keyword, Google takes a high-level look at your website to get an overall sense of its tone, scope, and relevancy. That's where your navigation comes in. You want to come in. You want to have a clear, navigable path for Google to get from your home page, where they have a sense of what your industry is, down to the very product. So homepage, okay, all these products are for men. Okay, all these products are belts. Okay, so I know this particular product is a man's belt in a high fashion industry type thing. So that's kind of what, and then that's what they're talking about here. Google gets an overall sense of the tone, scope, and relevancy of your website before they begin analyzing your exact page. And then, why does it go? Is this a new, oh, that's from 2021. Okay. All right, so that is the last article, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. From those of you, no one came in during the live, which is okay, but I hope you all who are watching it on the replay, on demand, either through our newsletters, on our website, or on our YouTube channel, I hope all of you are having are getting something out of these videos and enjoying it. And if you want some help, feel free to contact us. You can also subscribe to our newsletter, and you'll get you'll get notified when we go live. If you subscribe to us on YouTube, you'll get notified when we go live. If you did get something out of this video, please like it and share it with other people. Let them know, help them out. And thanks again for stopping in, and have a good week. And until next Monday, bye.